Hi YouTube, I'm Aiman. Welcome back to one of my auto repair videos. In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove and replace the front headlights, the left and the right side, of a 2004 to 2009 Toyota Prius, also known as second generation. Alright, so before we actually get into removing the headlights, let's talk about what exactly we have to remove. So there are three main bolts that fix the headlight to the car. There's one up here, so this is the easiest one to take out. It takes one bolt. There's one down here. And in order to access it, there are a few fasteners that we have to take out. 1, 2, 3. And once you do, you're going to be able to lift it. Okay, so that one went down. That's alright. And it's going to be right down there. And the last one, which is the toughest to get out, actually not toughest, but most tedious, is down here. Right. Let me get the light. Right down here. In that hole. Alright. So the reason that is the most tedious to get is because you have to remove the side guard. So in order to remove the side guard, there is one bolt that you have to take out here, and then there are three fasteners that are or bolts on the underguard that I have to take out, and we have the bolts right here. I think one of these bolts is not original, but that's alright. Alright, so we don't want to be too redundant. So we're not going to show you how to remove on this side because we're going to remove it on that side. Just go skip to that part if you don't want to see the logistics of what we're going to do. So once you have everything unscrewed, we're going to force this, we're going to pry this open. And then we're going to finagle this out of a notch. You can see that this notch is going to be in a hole. You just want to sort of lift it out. And then at the top, you want to disconnect these cables. Now, these are just simply, you twist them. So I think they usually go towards the driver's side, so to the left. Take them out, and this one in the back, which is connected to that's the light for the marker, that also twists to the left, and take it out. We'll show you how to replace them later, how to put them back later when you put it back in. So I think the light at the bottom, which is connected to halogen bulbs, is disconnected, but we'll see. So now we're just going to we're going to try to force this radiator back, this panel back, and try to finagle it out. So it's a bit tricky because I accidentally forced this headlight to go down when I was showing you guys the details. So let me just try to revert it back into its original position. Okay, so now we should be able to gently guide it out of its position. So at the top, we just want to sort of gently get it past this protrusion. Okay, and at the bottom, just navigate it as well. Make sure you pry this back as you're taking it out. And at the bottom, I'll show you later. Okay, so at the bottom, there is this protrusion. So when you're taking it out, you're gonna want to angle it out somehow or finagle it so that it can get out. Because you can see that as it protrudes, it kind of goes in here. At the bottom, you also want to note these notches, these two in particular, because they're going to go in these two holes. Alright, so now taking a look at the headlight itself, at the bottom is where the halogen bulbs are going to be. So when we take a look at the back, actually, now that I realize about it, you're not going to be, when you take it out, you're also going to have to disconnect the wire. This one is simply, you just pull it out, don't worry about it. So when you're taking it out, you just simply need to pull it out while it's in this position, and then you're going to be able to get a good look at it. So I guess we'll cover how to take it out after we take out the headlight, right? Okay. So this is what the headlight looks like. Alright, so as always, installation is the reverse of removal. We actually haven't shown removal yet, which we'll do later with the other side. But while we're here, we might as well do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take note of three protrusions. So first one, this protrusion that goes here. This protrusion that we're going to have to angle inwards. And this top one that will go under here. So we're going to insert it at an angle, probably the best angle as well. So we're going to push this back, pull this back, and then we're going to angle it slightly inward. So at this angle. So make sure that your protrusion also goes inward. You should be able to see that all your backside should go past when you put it at that angle. Alright. Oh. Just a bit downwards. just a bit. Although it makes it look easier, huh? Okay, so if you pull the front guard out a bit, it makes it a lot more easier. And now we just want to angle this into its right position. Alright, so as you see, it just went into the hole. So now we can lower this and sort of raise it using one hand into its correct position. So right now this one's aligned, and this one's also aligned. So now I think this notch on the bottom is also, we're also going to push this in, because since before we pried it out, now we're just going to push this back into its correct position. Oh wait, no, we're going to put the screws on first, the bolts on. Alright, so before we put the bolts back in, we're going to turn our attention to the light bulbs. We're going to put them back in, and I'm sorry I didn't mention this before, but if you didn't want to deal with the hassle of putting these back in the correct position, you could have just taken them out of their harnesses. You just have to press a button right here, and they'll come out naturally. It's also the same, let me just put this back. It's also the same idea with this one. You just press this button right here, and take it out. So I have a separate video on how to put it back in if you did take out the entire assembly. So go check that out. I'll link it in the description down below. But for now, I'm just going to put this back, not to make this video too long. Alright. Oh, there we go. Okay. Then this marker. Let me see. That's all the way in the back. I'm sorry you guys won't be able to see this. Okay. And then you twist it. Sorry, you guys can't see this actually. And now it should lock. It's a bit hard to see from my angle. Oh, okay. Okay, so now we should check our work by making sure we tug on it to make sure it's secured properly. And both of them are in. Alright, so now we're going to deal with the halogen bulb cable. And you could have done this earlier, like I said, but I have small hands, so this should be relatively easy. Now, I just have to take a look down below, because I have to make sure I put it in the correct orientation. So, alright. So, because the 3 prongs, you might have seen it earlier, they're supposed to go to these 3 holes. So, actually, you can also feel for them as well. So, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that means they should face like, okay. I don't want to make the video too long. Okay, so I got it on one of the... Okay, there we go. So now we're just going to lock it. I think I spoke too loudly so you couldn't hear the click, but there was a click or a snap. And now I can't take it out easily, so that means it's in. Okay, so now that that's done, we're going to put the 3 bolts back. So first one up here, then one down here, then the one down here, which I showed you earlier. After that, we're going to put the fasteners back on here, and the 3 fasteners under here, and finally the bolt under here. Alright, so now we're going to add the bolts. So these are 3 bolts. They're weirdly shaped for these 3, corresponding to these 3 points where it's fixed to the car. So first we're going to screw it in by hand. Okay. So after we screw it in by hand, then we're going to speed it up by using the Milwaukee. Make sure you angle it properly. Okay. Just make sure you don't strip the screw while you're doing the bolt while you're doing this. All right. Then we're going to do it on this side. It's a bit hard for you guys to see. Actually, I'll bring the light down here. So just a few threads. We can twist it. We can use machinery to make it go faster. But just a few threads. And then down here, tie this back. And this one's gonna be a bit harder. mainly because this hole is weirdly position oriented. We're gonna have to lift this headlight just a bit and then screw it in from there. So let me just do the first few threads. And I'm assuming that when you're using machinery to screw this in, you're gonna also have to lift this up because of the way that's positioned. Okay. So for tightening it, there are 3 methods. There's first the screwdriver, because there is a Phillips head on these. There's also the socket wrench with the, I think this is a 1/4 inch that we have. We're going to test it here. And finally, the Milwaukee. No, the Milwaukee will do up here. So right now, we already did the screwdriver on the bottom one right here. And I think my dad already tightened it. Let's just check. Yeah, okay. So my dad already tightened it. And then we're going to test the socket wrench on this. Once you get to the lower ends, you want to lessen the amount that you pull your ratchet wrench back. So right now I'm doing 1/4 turns. When you get all the way to the end, you're going to do 1/8 of a turn, just to make sure you don't over cross thread or break the nut or the bolt, because I've done that a lot of times. Okay. Just make sure that's tight. And finally, we're going to do it with the Milwaukee. Now, just to be on the safe side, I'm just going to screw it in with the Milwaukee because I don't want this to break. Wait. Okay. Okay. So now, we should be good. Let me just check its torque with the torque wrench, with the socket wrench. Okay, good. So all of these are tight. Seems pretty sturdy. So now we can put the fasteners here back, and the bolts on the bottom back, and this bolt back. Alright, so for our purposes, we're not going to put any fasteners on this just yet. They're easy to put in. You just stick them in. Because we're going to do removal on that side, so we don't have to remove this yet. However, we're going to put the guard back, and the way that we do that is this panel right here that juts out. Remember when you had the headlight that there was a row of 2 metal prongs and 4 metal prongs? Really what we want to do is we want to position it so that it's in between those 2. And then we want to push it. So as you're doing that, you also want to make sure that this lip right here is lifted up. And then you want to push it in. And they should naturally fit into their correct places. So first this one. You heard that as I pushed it, there was a certain sound. And we're going to do the same on this side. So for this one, just push it in. Let me just make sure nothing's wrong. Okay. So this one should go in. Just takes a bit of finagling. Okay. So there we go. Just make sure everything's good. Okay, so now we're going to take our bolt. I was just making sure that everything's okay because I saw that this wasn't seamless. So just making sure. So we're going to take our bolt, and with the help of our light bulb, we're going to screw it back on. So when we do this, there's going to be an underguard. So just push that out of the way. And then you want to, by hand, first screw it. So this is going to be hard to position. And these aren't magnetic, so I guess I'll have my cameraman, my dad, hold it. And then we're going to screw this in. I do apologize while we're screwing this in for rambling. I know I'm making the video just a bit longer. It's a bit late at night, but you know, I'm having fun with repairing this car. Alright, so now I'm going to tighten it using a screwdriver. And then after that, we're going to be moving to the bottom. It's going to be a bit harder to show you on the bottom, but there are basically 3 fasteners that we just have to put back. Tighten until you can't tighten anymore. But don't tighten it too much or you'll break the bolt. Okay, so we're good. Alright, because it's hard to get an angle here, we're not going to necessarily show you how to do it. But I'm just going to point out where the fasteners are that we have to screw in. So there's going to be one over here. You can see that we have to align this properly before we screw it in. But this is where the hole is for the bolt. So make sure it's aligned properly. Then there's another hole right here. So the bolt goes right in here. Make sure that this right here is aligned properly as well. So you're going to sort of have to finagle this underguard as well. And then finally, there's this hole all the way back over here, which is for the third bolt. And this also needs to be aligned properly, as you can see with this underguard. Okay. So those are the 3 bolts that I have to put in. I'm not going to do on camera, like I said, because it's a bit too hard to show. Alright, so we're on the right side of the car right now, and now we're transitioning into how to remove the headlight. So we're going to start on the bottom, just like how we ended on the bottom when we were installing it. So we're going to take a look at the underguard. So there are 3 bolts we need to take out. There's one here. It's the silver one right here. Then this one right here. And finally, the one in the back. So I'm going to do this 100% when my dad films me. So this one's a bit hard to remove with the Milwaukee because this plate up here kind of blocks it. So I'm just going to use a regular screwdriver. One thing you want to note is that when you're working under a car, one thing to note is that you should obviously jack the car up if you're going to work under it. And secondly, when you're working under a car, just wear some face protection, maybe like goggles and a mouth mask so no debris gets into your system. I'm perfectly fine with it though. So just take this out. That's what the bolt looks like. And now we can use my trusty Milwaukee to take out the rest of them. I'm just gonna move my head so if it comes crashing down, I'm not gonna be hit. Okay. These are number 10, by the way. Okay, so you saw me flinching a bit there. That's because as I took it out, dirt came into my face. So that's a reason why you should wear goggles and mouth protection. And possibly nose protection if you need it. So, oh yeah, this is what the bolt looks like. I think it looks actually a bit different than the other bolt. Where is it? I'll get it later so you can compare it. Alright, so apparently, just note that some of these bolts won't look like the original. Because when we're working on this car, we've actually lost a few of these bolts, so we had to replace them with not original bolts. So now we're going to do this last bolt in the back. I'm sure you guys just saw that stream of dirt just come down. A good idea to wear eye protection as always. That's what the bolt looks like. And now we should be able to loosen this out. Alright, so before we take the bolt that's on that side out, we're going to take these 2 fasteners out because we're going to be, if we take these 2 out, then we're going to be able to pry this out when we take that bolt out. I'm a bit jumping over myself, but that's alright. By the way, this fastener right here, we actually carved a Phillips head into it because I think it was stripped. So right now I'm going to take that out first. This might take the strength of 2 hands because my dad tightened it really toughly. I am able to still loosen it though. Okay. Definitely stripped, I gotta say. And I don't want to strip this further, so I'm gonna use a flathead. This one probably looks better, actually. Jeez, my dad put this in really tightly. Alright, so I take it back. It probably wasn't that my dad put it in too tight. It's probably just because it's stripped. So we put some PB Blaster on it. And we have our impact driver with a flathead attachment on it. On a normal car, it's probably not going to be like this. So hopefully you won't have the same trouble as we do. You got to make sure it's directly in the center. Alright, and now we can take it out. Whoa, that came out really fast. Alright, so now we're going to set this aside. I don't know where I put the bolts, I'm just going to put it here for now. And now we're going to take that fastener out. That one's easy. All you have to do is take a flathead. This one's a bit too thick. you want to take a flathead screwdriver, and you want to stick it under the one of these holes right here, these gaps in between the notches, and lift it out. Then you're going to be able to take the fastener out entirely. So that's what they look like. And then we're going to set this aside. Now we're going to go on the other side. Let me take my Milwaukee. Actually, I think we use a screwdriver for this one. So we're going to go on to the other side. And if we look from here, we're going to, while I hold this, we're going to pull this back. And then we should be able to get access to the bolt, which is up there. So, here, hold this. So now we're going to, what the heck? Okay, so when you pull this back, these fasteners might come out, so just be wary of that. So now we're going to position our screwdriver in the hole. Sorry, I'm using one eye because... Okay, now we just loosen it. I think it's gonna be this way. No. This, the other way. Always gotta make sure that you're twisting the right way before you take out a bolt, because if you twist the wrong way, you might end up stripping the bolt or even breaking it. So now I think I can take this out manually. That is what the bolt looks like. At least I hope it does. This might be a replacement. So we're gonna place this aside, and now we should be able to actually pry this out. So let's attempt that. So first, I remember this one was the last one to come out. So this side should be the first to come out. Just making sure that there's nothing keeping it there. Okay. So this one first. Alright, so we managed to finally figure out. All I have to do is push it down and pull it out because of the way it's shaped. So try to get your hand sort of like this. And let me just examine what exactly happened that we couldn't... Oh. Alright, so come here and you're going to see why we couldn't do that. So there is a sort of cylindrical shape that's preventing us from completely taking it out by the side. So that means we have to push it down and then take it out. So just note that when you're taking it out or prying it out. So now we're going to move on to prying out the entire the front half. So now we're going to just slowly work our way up. And on the bottom. And then we should be able to do it from this side. Just slowly. There we go. The entire, I guess you could say, front side is taken off. I don't know what the name is. Alright, so I've been informed that this whole assembly is called the bumper. The front bumper. So now the right side of the front bumper is off. So now we're going to be able to get access to all the bolts that we need to take off for the right side headlight. So, like I said before, there are 3 bolts. One at the top. One at the bottom, where I previously pointed out, right here. And one right here. So let me just take that off the Milwaukee, which is right here. Okay. Make sure you don't lose those. Got in the safe spot. Separate that. So that one's first. Then this one up here. Probably should ease into it instead of just straight on fast mode. And then finally this one on the bottom. I might end up using... Oh, actually, I could probably fit it. Alright, so on that side here, you're probably going to have to use a screwdriver because even if you were to get enough space, the vibration will probably make it really hard to take out this bottom bolt. So now we're just going to angle our screwdriver in and take it out. This one, it looks like there's something forming on it, so I'm gonna put this down so it gives me a bit more leverage. Pull this out so I don't scratch it. Alright, so another method is that if you have the Milwaukee, then you can actually put it in behind the panel, and then you can angle it. Oh, there it is. And since ours is a bit rusted and might be stripped, we put a bit of PD blaster on it, PB blaster. So we gotta angle it correctly. And alright, so let me just take this out and set this aside. And now our light bulb, our headlight should be completely unhinged, except for the cables, of course. Alright, so now at this point we're going to take out the light bulb the headlight itself. Let me put this here for now. So let's just angle it out. Actually, first we're going to take the cables out. So from here, we're going to take just the harnesses out. And I mentioned this earlier. You can just take the harnesses out and not the bulbs as well, just by using pliers. Or you could just use your hand. What you want to do is you want to press this button right here, and you want to try to pull it out. Now, it might not work with just your hand, especially if it's cold, because your hands might be freezing. So you want to use a plier to try to press that button instead. Let me position this correctly. And then you want to squeeze, and you should be able to take it out. And that's what the cable looks like. And that is what the button looks like. That's disconnected, so this one right here might be a bit harder to get your plier into. So let's try with our hand first. Okay, so I think I can actually angle this. Alright, so if we can't take these out yet, we're going to try to take the entire headlight out, and then we're going to be able to disconnect the wire harnesses. Now, I know I'm jumping around a lot, and that's because it actually is really late at night. But when you're taking this out, you should be able to figure out for yourself what we're going to be doing. So now, I remember that when we took it out, it was in a certain position. We're also going to pry this back. Now we should be able to get a better feeling for how we can disconnect our wires. So this one is a simple pull. You just gotta press it, and if not, use pliers. Give me a second. Let me rest this down here. Lift this up with one hand. And use pliers to get a grip of that. And take it out. So that is what the cable head looks like. Oh, the harness. And these are what the bulbs look like. So now we're going to disconnect the, what's it called? The halogen bulbs. So in order to do that, we're just going to pull on it. And the reason why it looks so taken off right now is because earlier I tried to disconnect the bulbs using my hand. And the way we did that was we removed the compartment. There was a component right here that we removed, and then I tried to get it under. It shouldn't be like this, but it's going to be closed usually. What you want to do is you want to just take out the hose. It's simply... No. So you just simply pull. That's what it looks like. And now we can take this out fully. So just angle it out as you're taking it out. And that's what it looks like. So let's look at it on the floor right here. By the way, we have a carpet so that we don't scratch the headlight. Alright, so now we're going to put the headlight back. I already showed you how to install it, so I hopefully don't show you again. However, just note that if you take out all the fasteners on this rim right here, you're going to be able to pull it out a lot more, which gives you a lot more space to angle this in. Alright, so as you can see, we have a lot more space here. So we're going to try to attempt putting the cables back in first before we put the entire assembly back in. So first, I'm going to try putting this one in because it's the trickiest. And the way that this goes in is that these three holes correspond to these three prongs. Actually, I already explained that, but just put that in. It goes in easily. And now these two, they go in no matter what. So I'm just going to put this in first. So this goes in a special angle. Make sure everything goes accounted for. And there we go. So now we're going to connect these top two. These ones, you just simply push them in if you just took the harnesses out. So from your view, you hear that click, that means it's in. This one as well. There's only one way to put them in, so because they have a special shape. I'm going to try to feel for where that special shape is and then put it in. And even if you can't see it, just try to rotate it as you put it in to find that place. Okay. Alright, I found the place, but it's not going. Oh wait, never mind, that's not the place. Wait, what the? Oh, so I put it in, but somehow the light came out. Okay, so I guess we just put it back in. Make sure you find the right places to put them in, with the notches. And okay, that's weird. I didn't hear the click, but somehow I took it out. Okay. Let's see. Is it facing the right orientation? Yep. Is it wiggling? Nope, not too much. Okay, so from this point onwards, we're going to be able to put the bolts back in. So like I said before, these 3 bolts, so 1, 2, and 3, and then the rest of the panel will go back in and put the fasteners, and you're done. Alright, so before we bolt everything up, we're actually going to test if the lights actually work. Now, we probably should have done it before we bolted this in too, but it's too late. We can just do this, we can fix this later if we need to. So my cameraman's going to stay out here and look at the lights while I go in and turn not the engine on, but turn the power on. So let me just do that. Alright, so now I'm going to use the light controls in order to see which one of them are working. So first we're going to set it to parking light or marker. We look at both sides, you can see that both of them are working. Okay. So now we're going to look at our halogen lights, our beams. See that they're working. If we pull towards us, see that the high beams are also working. Now we're going to see if our blinkers are working. On the right side, it looks like, from your expression, it looks like it's working. On the left side, it's working. And I think that's it. Alright. Let me just set this back to normal and turn it off. So now that we know that both sides of these headlights are working, we're done. So now we can put the bolts back on and we should be finished. I'm Aiman, and I just showed you how to remove and replace the front headlights on a 2004-2009 Toyota Prius. Now, I just want to say that I'm sorry for assembling and tripping over my words a lot. It's getting really late at night, so it's probably a good time to close this. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And look at other videos on Aiman, especially the Toyota Prius videos. And I think we've done at least 3 or 4 videos on things related to the headlights themselves, like replacing the signal and marker lights, as well as the halogen lights too. So go check them out as well. And I'll see you there. So, signing out. Peace. And good night.